Okay, here we go. Fair use.
What do you mean question? It's disagreement day.
Um, yeah, so you said that you feel that black people should not um, only date within our own race because some white people will have our best interest more than we would. Is that right?
No, my response was with Dr. Umar and saying as far as you can't be pro-black, given the fact that there are black women who won't be married. 1 in 4 black women won't be married. Um, I was saying that's not really an argument because when you look into the data as far as why those women aren't married, well then it explains why they aren't married. The other one was what else did he say? I can't remember the rest of the video. But the
Yeah, he's
wealth.
taken for
Yeah, he
granted.
was talking about the wealth as far as you giving wealth to a non-black spouse, whatnot. But that
A perfect example of why some black women won't be married is like you could look at the situation of Jill Scott. The fact that you know her masculine energy and stuff like that. Not saying all black women, but you have black women like that they're not suitable for marriage. Some black women are not were not raised to be wives. Okay, and that's just a factor. You know, if you're raised a certain way, it's very like take for instance a person who's raised to be a feminist, let's say, or lived in a single mother home. Okay, they've never seen their mother be taken care of by a man, be married, and be under a man's leadership. So how could she understand what it's like to be a wife if she hasn't seen her mother be a wife? And in the the poor urban black communities, that's it's not you know it's not common to see married households. Usually, you will have broken homes. Not all um, families are broken homes in poor urban black communities. All right, but they are, that's just how it is.
that doesn't mean anything because we've had black families for quite some time, and it hasn't benefited the group. So this wealth that the black families have had hasn't been put back into the community.
Yeah, so I think there's like two major flaws to what he's saying. Number one, he's taking for granted that black women will continue to marry within the black race or only seek partners that are black men, and that's changing. And I do think that part of our issue as Black Americans is that Black women are socialized to be very insular, and so that creates this situation where you have a lot of hypergamy, like reverse hypergamy, where like black men are marrying up, black women are marrying down. A lot of times you have a lot of like polyamorous relationships where black men aren't as faithful because they have so many options. And I think if more competition, if there was more interracial marriage, that could essentially, like Dr. Ralph Banks said, create more stable families within the Black community. So,
Did you know that you could
Hold
get
on one second.
I think Dr. Umar Johnson he leaves that part out, and so I think that's one major flaw. But the other part, I tend to agree a little bit with what Pastor Manning says. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but he's kind of controversial. Like he hated Obama long before Obama was even elected because he saw major flaws in Obama's politics.
No, but I wouldn't agree
believes,
with what you said though. I don't think it's a competition thing. I think it has to do with women making poor decisions because a good
sure, and
majority.
That's it. Basically, that's it. It's poor decision making. A lot of these. See, the sad thing is like you would have some of these black women who are trying to say, well, all these black men, they do this, they do that, and the reality is, it's like you're picking these men. Okay, you're still picking these men, and some would even say that you need to, you good black men, you need to teach these bad black men how to act. Basically, what you're telling us is the fact, instead of leaving these toxic black men behind, you want good black men to teach these toxic black men how to behave. The toxic black men that you like these toxic black men are not, they're children. They're their little, little Hakeem, stop stealing from her. Stop taking her fruit snacks. That's meant for her kids. They're not children. Go find you an adult male, an adult man that won't harm you. But they don't want to do that. They want black men to, that don't do the things that these toxic black men do, to teach these men. And I seen it in the comments. Why don't these good black men teach these bad black men how to act? No, leave those bad black men behind and go start being with these good black men. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do. This is what I'm noticing, all right? For black men, you see, and they want to be equal. Women with this mindset, they want to be equal. All right? Black men, when we mess up, men, period, regardless of ethnicity, you mess up with a woman, you chose that woman, all right? Even though she may have done some foul crap, not excusing her, but you did choose that woman to be in your life. You made a decision to be with that woman. We have to suck that up and understand we have a part to blame in that. When you tell women this stuff, especially black women, they lose their freaking mind that you tell them, listen, this man may have done you dirty, but you did choose him to be in your life. You didn't vet him properly. They lose their minds. They get angry. They call you all types of names. All because you tell them that they have to take accountability for their part to play in that situation.
If
That
not
could be part of it too. Yeah.
have
Go
children.
ahead.
So by having children, that you're less likely to marry.
So I think, again, so it's multifaceted. You can blame it on black women having children. I can tell you, as someone who has married and dated interracially, that in other cultures, men do get women pregnant outside of wedlock, but they have shotgun weddings, basically. So once they find out that their woman is pregnant, they don't seek to shame her or abandon her. They try to marry her.
The thing is like she dated men from certain families, because in other cultures, you get pregnant, they could probably just leave you to the wind. They'll leave you hanging. Okay, just because they come from a different culture and you lucked out in dating a good person doesn't mean every man from that culture, every family is going to treat you the same. All right. There was Chinese businessmen going to Africa and getting black women pregnant and leaving them there with their offspring, being deadbeat dads and going back to China. Okay. This is another culture. All right. I just saw on TikTok about how a guy praised his mom for being there for him when his father abandoned them. So what is this about? Oh, other cultures, they don't, abandon their kids when they get a woman pregnant, they have a shotgun wedding. No. You met a decent guy from a different culture. That's what it is. Unfortunately, you have a lot of black women who have this, I don't know how to say it. I guess you could say a little bit, some African American women, they have this kind of slave mentality. The white man is God, the Asian man is God, and they're so much better. But I just gave you a description of what an Asian man, Asian men were doing in Africa. It's the person, it's the individual, it's not the ethnic group, because you got scumbags in every ethnic group. All right. You got white men deleting their black girlfriends. A couple of years ago, you had a black woman, a single mom, dating a white man, okay, who had a history of domestic violence. One night they had an argument. She turns up missing. They found her body in the woods. Her clothes were found in a dumpster that the man she was dating, white guy, bottom shelf Brad. Okay. dumped her clothes there. He was arrested. It is the person. It's not the skin color. A lot of these black women don't see that. A lot of these women, when they date out, they usually, depending on their character, the personality, they can't really get the top quality dudes. They'll end up getting a dude that's something like their character. If they come from the hood, they're gonna get a bottom shelf Brad.
To spare her that, but that's just not something that's done in the Black community. So I can tell you,
Well, spare
like,
her.
that's
not a benefit, right? Because if he's not in a position to be a father, or the mindset to be a father, then it doesn't matter if he marries her. Now you just have a trash marriage. So you're not, and so in fact, you're actually shaming her in the long run.
Again, so it's so hard to like, my frustration and okay. So Dr. Frances Cress Holton, she broke down that anytime you have Black men and Black women trying to get to the nitty gritty of like the situation in the Black community, it's always going to result in squabbling. And that's what that's what's so like exhausting about these conversations, is they get so circular and it just like descends into squabbling. You can say, yeah, so she shouldn't have gotten pregnant. She shouldn't have chosen a man that XYZ. There's always this endless blame.
It's not about endless blame. It's the fact of the matter is you made a decision. You made a conscious decision to be with this dude. Okay. Who you didn't see red flags. And this is the situation that they're in now. Okay. And you want to say the poor, the Black community, you're talking about the poor version, not the rich, middle class Black community. You're talking about the poor one. And if you're a poor Black community, and you're in there yourself, why not? You have to make better decisions if you want to survive. Okay. Men saying marry before you carry. All right. Oh, well, those men are scumbags. Is what they're saying false, true or false? If you keep complaining about these Black men who are toxic, stop sleeping with them and hold your body for a man that's going to give you his last name. If it's that important to you to actually come out on top.
On the woman. Easily say like if men would just like man up, if they would play their position, like
men do man up. That's the thing. The problem is that she chose a man who doesn't man up.
I know, and that's what's unfortunate. And I think this is the root of the problem, is that I do feel, and it pains me to say this, I'm not proud to say this, but there is something really different about the.
I feel, not what are the facts. I feel. And she's not listening. There are men who man up, and you take in because you have one bad experience, all Black men are the same. It's like me saying if I have a bad experience with a Black woman, all Black women are the same. No, they're not all the same. You made a bad decision.
The mindset of Black men compared to other men. It's like you guys don't think like other races of men. So you want to blame and continue to put all of the accountability on the laps of women, whereas other men don't operate like that. And
what are you talking about? Other men who have daughters, they will tell their daughters, if they are good fathers, daughter, your decisions have consequences. You make the wrong decision, you have to pay for those consequences. You're responsible for your actions. You're responsible for your decisions. What are you talking about? If you're talking about a patriarchal culture, they're going to tell their kids what's what, regardless of their gender. So obviously she's really not knowing what she's talking about.
Every group operates like that. White people operate like that. Asian people operate like that.
You're not going to argue, but you're on a panel which you debate. You're on a debate panel. You're on a debate live stream, but you're not going to argue. That's what a debate is.
Do you have any data to support this? Because I'm unaware of any data, any analysis, any study where white men are promoting single parenthoods from white women. I'm unaware of that.
No one's promoting it. But the crux of the matter is no race of men should not hold the men in their group accountable. If men are at large abandoning their women who they impregnate, that is an issue with the men. Yes.
No, wait. Why not go pick another group of men or pick a good group of black men to date? The black community is not all poor. There are rich, affluent black communities. Again, what is she talking about? Again, it's always this cleanup method. Why should black men who are decent have to tell other grown black men who are toxic how to act when you could just leave those types of men alone and date men who are decent? Why can't you do that? Why are you putting on the man to be a cleanup man for men that, that are going to hurt you? Leave those type of men alone. It's the same thing with men complaining about toxic women. Leave those types of women alone. Even women say that, but when you turn it on them to do the same thing, now it's a cry. Now it's tears and crying and false accusations.
But the problem with that, those men are always going to exist. That's always a factor there, right?
And therein lies another problem.
There's always going to be those trash men present, no matter what good men say.
But listen, other races of men don't take that for granted. They don't do that.
I don't know what you mean. Take
they
what
might
for
acknowledge,
granted?
yes, there's trash men, but they give them consequences. They make sure that those men don't run amok in their community. The black community does not do that.
You know what you do? You move out of that community. And guess what? The black community, you have families that they do check men who harm their female family members. You just haven't seen it. Or you have groups. I remember when I was walking, on the street one day. Not even walking, I'm sorry. I was watching a live stream. Sorry about that. I was watching a live stream and I saw a black man hit a homeless black woman. 3 black men came on that dude and just basically beat the brakes off of him. Don't talk to me about how, toxic black men are not checked. They are checked. All right. So I don't know what this woman's talking about.
What do you?
They
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And then they blame it on the women.
Do you have any example of this? Because I've been in Jewish communities, I've been in white communities, I've been in Hispanic communities. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, because you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry.
No, I'm asking you.
I can't really
I'm asking
fix
you
your
to
anecdotal.
elucidate me because I have no idea what you're referencing.
So because he's telling you, she doesn't want to debate. She wants Lucas to agree. Okay, that's what it is. She wants him to agree. That's what it is. You're pushing ignorance, and when someone comes back at you with actual facts, now you're crying. She talks about calling names and stuff. Look what she's doing.
How do they stop them from doing that? What by what means?
The cultural ethos in those communities. They do not allow.
That means nothing. So by what means?
Okay, exactly.
Right, the culture, hold on. Because the cultural ethos has to
Go ahead.
manifest itself in actions, right?
Absolutely.
So how do they manifest this cultural ethos to thwart or to stop these bad men from not being bad men?
So again, with fathers in the home, right? With fathers protecting their daughters and disciplining their sons, you don't see the manifestation of, single parent homes everywhere and abuse and unemployment and all that type of stuff.
Hold on. So now you're talking on both sides of your mouth, right? Because we acknowledge that both bad men exist in all groups. But then you said that there's
not necessarily.
Yes, they see. Once again, the woman is delusional. You dated a couple of men from a different ethnic group, and all of a sudden, you don't see no ghettos in their communities. Nothing. There's no ghetto in their community. There's no bad neighborhoods. It's only the black urban community. This woman is delusional. Okay. Oh, not necessarily. No, 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 no. Just talking out your mouth. And then when something happens, she'll play victim. Oh, I didn't know. How could they be this way? No, they were there. You always have toxic men in every ethnic group. You have ghettos in every ethnic group. Okay. All types of bad men come in different colors. Instead of realizing that and understanding that, she wants to make dumb arguments like this, trying to say that all black men are bad. Okay. They don't know how to run their communities. All right. And to be honest with you, if black men were to really be strong arming these poor urban black communities, she would have a problem because she would be a feminist. Because you know what that would mean? That would mean black men would be told, you know what? You don't date women with attitude problems. Okay. You don't date women from broken homes. All right. Women will have to deal with the fact of being in traditional home environments if she wants that type of control, but she doesn't, because I can already tell she doesn't want that. The feminism is just kicking in. Okay. Take away Planned Parenthood from the black communities, the poor urban black communities, and she'll have knee-jerk reactions. Well, you can't affect women's reproductive rights. I see that. I see it. Okay. And no fathers in the home in these poor urban black communities. You have to understand there's something systemic with that, and that is feminism. Aside from the fact that women made bad choices in men. All right. Feminism does play a part in the black community. If you look up Gloria Steinem and her influence on the black community, look up Elizabeth Stanton with feminism. That's the originator of feminism. And her white supremacist views, how black women were not equal to white women. And white women should be on the top. Black women had to march in the back of her parades. All right. There's a big reason why you always see single mother homes in the black community. And that's one of the major reasons, aside from women making bad choices, aside from the fact that you had poor people coming together and having families when they did not have any resources and shouldn't be coming together to begin with. She doesn't go that far. And I always notice when you ask a woman, well, you guys are so much for feminism, but do you understand that feminism never really cared for black women? They only used you for numbers. Why are you holding up an ideology that has crippled the urban black community? Why do you hold up women that didn't care about you? They didn't see you as equals. That called Harriet Tubman stupid. Why are you holding up these women who don't care about you? You got white women make more money than you. They don't want to fight for equal pay with you. All feminism was to make white women equal with white men. But when it came to black women, black men being on the same footing as white men, they didn't want that. So much for equality.
Wait, you're telling me that there's a group of people where bad men don't exist?
No, what I'm saying is the degree to which, so you're taking for granted that, like, the black community, we have bad men. I'm saying, yes, every group has bad men, but the black community is special in that black men are allowed to run amok. There's an abundance
They're not allowed to run amok.
And the black.
The only way they're allowed
Are you for real?
Yes, I am for real. They're not allowed to run amok, right?
Okay.
As opposed to any other group, they're not allowed to run amok.
This is disingenuous now. This is not a real.
You're gonna have to give me
now.
something, right? Because what you just acknowledged, that there's bad people in every group, right? Then you said black men as far as run amok in the black community, but that doesn't happen in every other group. And then when I ask, well, how does that happen? Well, there's a cultural ethos. Okay, well, how does that cultural ethos manifest itself? Well, it manifests itself because there's fathers in the homes that tell their daughters not to do that. That doesn't account right, for the bad men still doing bad things within the group. So obviously there's going to be women who get with those bad men who don't take care of their children, which is a good amount within the white community, within the Asian community. Well, not so much the Asian because they don't really reproduce as is, but within the Hispanic community. So those are still present. So I don't know what you're referring to, because if you're referring to a certain systems or certain actions that they're doing, well, then we can replicate those actions and we can promote those actions. But you're not giving me anything.
Okay, so I feel like you're perhaps being disingenuous, but I'll go through it again. I think it's very dishonest to say that there's not an abundance of bad men in the Black community that are running
There's
amok.
not.
So there's tons of data and statistics that substantiate that.
Give me
you can
one.
look at, and of course you're going to dismiss the Black femicide rate or just the criminality period.
What about the criminality? If you're going to give me a data, give me something.
According to data from a 2015 Violence Policy Center study, over 90% of Black female homicide victims were killed by Black males. However, of the Black male offenders, over 56% had prior criminal records.
This reminds me of a story in Atlanta of a corporate lawyer, Black female corporate lawyer, and she was dating a dude who was a bum, complete bum. Long story short, the guy was on the run. He literally climbed up the building that she was at, climbed in, deleted himself and deleted her. What does that tell you? Okay. A lot of these women don't want to take responsibility for their actions. And it's sad to say that it's coming out more and more. The more they talk, the same talking points, but you see it right here. It's your poor dating choices. Look who you are dating. I just gave you an example of a woman, corporate lawyer, millions of dollars, and you're dating a Pookie and a Ray Ray.
2011 study published in the Journal of Interpersonal Violence, analyzing over 450 Black female homicides, found over 36% of the Black male offenders had prior arrests for violent crimes. Another 20% had been arrested for nonviolent crimes. Additionally, research on intimate partner homicides provides further details. A study published in the Journal of Family Violence examining cases in North Carolina found the median income for Black female decedents was $15,000, and for Black male offenders, it was $20,000, both well below the national average. With regards to education, a 2021 study by the Blackburn Center in West Virginia indicated over...
Oh, yeah. It's also indicated when you date a man who makes less than you, the chances of domestic violence in that relationship skyrockets. Just to let you know.
Half of Black female homicide victims aged 18, 30 had a high school diploma or less. Similarly, a 1989 study titled Exploring the Effect of Resource Availability and the Likelihood of Female Perpetrated Homicides, analyzing over 300 Black female cases, found 56% of the offenders had a high school education or less, 13% had some college, and only 4% were college graduates. In summary, while not reflective of the majority of Black women and men, these statistics suggest a pattern in which poor and less educated Black women are victims of homicide perpetrated by poor, less educated Black men with prior criminal histories.
I mean, the FBI statistics.
What about the FBI statistics? Do you know how the FBI statistics come about?
Go ahead.
Do you know how can you explain to me how the FBI statistics come about? How do they get those statistics?
Okay, so now we're going on a tangent about how stats are collected.
Yes, because that's important.
Nail down
as far as
something so we can progress.
Wait,
the
hold
argument.
on. Let me explain to you why that's important. This is why we won't have a female president, because you guys are aloof, right? Many of you, not all, but most of you are aloof. The reason why that's important because we have to take into account whether the data is actually a reflection of what's happening, whether the data has been tainted.
So why is it now that the data needs to be come in question when it
always needs to come in question. That's the whole entire point. It always needs to come in question.
Black women who are doing XYZ, we need to take that at face value. It's like you guys, it's almost like you're allergic.
No. I'm talking about the FBI statistics because there's a certain procedure.
Can we
hold on. But hold on.
Can we just move forward?
No, we can't move forward because there seems to be an impingement in comprehension here.
She wants to ignore it. She wants to move forward because she wants to just drive by because she knows she's wrong. She knows she's saying things that are just nonsense now. She doesn't want to hear any facts now.
The reason
No,
why we
there's
have to
not.
look as far as, well, I'm letting you know that there is due to your own words. Your own words betray you. So what I'm trying to do is educate you to some degree. Now, seemingly as a black woman, right, you seem to be hesitant to I don't know, to be submissive to a black man who's trying to educate you. So you seem to be of that lot.
I'm
Unfortunately.
listening. I'm listening.
Okay,
so
great.
now here comes the ad hominem.
Great.
Can you
Has
please
nothing to
progress?
do with
See, now she just wants to hurry up. Basically, she wants to say, all right, shut up. I don't want to hear you. Shut up, shut up, shut up. That's basically, it's a way of her saying to you, shut up.
that
I'm
hominem.
trying to
This
move
is how you're
somewhere in this
presenting
argument.
yourself. I can only go off of how you're presenting yourself. This is how you're presenting yourself. Because I'm trying to educate you on why what you're saying is ignorant.
Okay, can we move forward now?
No, we can't move forward because I'm trying to educate you on why we're ignorant. You're more than welcome to hang
Please
up.
educate
Would you
me.
like
Go
to
ahead.
hang up? Would you like to disconnect? If not, I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I need you to listen so that you can stop promoting ignorance.
Go ahead, Lucas.
Great. So when it comes to the FBI statistics, as opposed to other studies and analyses, we can look into how they did their methodology when it comes to the study. When it comes to the FBI statistics, that's not the same thing. Because we have to look into why the FBI statistics even exist and how they come to be, which is coming from voluntary data from police departments.
Wait 4 minutes?
And then the police departments don't even give you the full scope of the data that they give the FBI statistics. Then if you take into account the FBI statistics, then you have to take into account the nitty-gritty, the details. The devil is in the details, which most people don't take into account. That's night and day from a separate study done on black women due to, I don't know, polling or a census.
Okay, so we got to get to the nitty gritty. We got to know the background of who's taking the stats. We got to know where they live. We got to know their social.
Yes, because the reason.
Now she's exaggerating now. Oh, we got to know where they live. It's exaggeration. I'll give you an example, right? When it came to the, how you say, when it came to that woman in Houston, right? The Houston truck driver who got herself locked up in Dubai. And when you tell people online, well, you know, you can't go to countries that women don't have any rights. And she was, you know, they give you an advisory. What are the laws in their country? A black woman was saying, well, you're simple. What does that have to do with anything? I could travel wherever I want. You could travel wherever you want, but you have to know those laws and you got to take those laws seriously. And personally, you shouldn't go to a country where women have no rights. You're simple. It's the same mentality, the attitude.
Reason being, why do you think that's important?
We can see the criminality.
Why do you think that's important, though?
We can see the local news reports.
I understand.
Everywhere.
I get you.
Like,
you.
Why
but why
are
do
we
you think that's
acting
important?
Okay, so I could see what Lucas was coming out with the reports that sometimes you can't trust it because some of these reports they're kind of skewed. And when it comes to the media, right, they'll only show that you know, only blacks committing certain types of crime, armed theft, robbery, rape, all those types of things. But you have white people doing the same thing. And then they show the type of news that, you know, will get them leads. Will get them views and basically will satisfy middle America that does not like black people. Meanwhile, you got whites doing the same thing, but it's not televised. Okay. You got blacks for police brutality, right? You have whites suffering the same thing, and it's not getting news attention, not getting national news attention. That's the issue here. Another thing, you got whites doing mass shootings, but you have blacks doing mass shootings, not gaining nationwide attention because they want to push a narrative, okay? White people are the ones doing this, white people.
Oblivious to this. There is an issue with crime in the black community.
But why do
Can
you
we please acknowledge that and just move forward?
No, we can't. Because why do you think that's important to know
and
how that crime
lies
came
the
to
problem.
be? Why do you think that's important?
Why crime is in the black community?
No, I'm asking you,
why
do you think it's important as far as how the data is accumulated and aggregated, and as far as the context of that data and where they get it from? Why do you think that's important?
Listen, whether or not the people who collect the data
I'm
are
asking you
racist or
why.
they have some
I'm
type
not
of
talking about the people who
propaganda.
collect the data. I'm asking you why is it important to contextualize the data that you receive?
At this juncture in our
This is why men
and just
lead,
please,
and
please
many of you
allow me
women should follow,
to
because you
finish my
cannot
sentence.
critically think.
Please,
Don't worry,
please
I'm
allow me.
here.
Listen,
I'm going to explain it
Lucas,
to you. The
Lucas,
reason why it's important, I
Lucas.
need you to be quiet and listen now, because you already show that you don't know the answer, which is fine, because I do. So I'm going to
No,
tell it to
I'm
you.
just not willing to go down this rabbit hole with
I
you, but
understand
go
you don't
ahead.
want to go down this rabbit hole because you're ignorant in this rabbit hole. This is where I stand strong.
Here comes
Okay?
ad hominem.
So I'm going to need you. It's
Go
not an
ahead.
ad hominem, it's an analysis off of your words. So I'm going to need you to be quiet and listen yet again. So the reason why it's important is because so we can create solutions, right? That's the reason why it's important to gather this data. Unfortunately, this data has been weaponized to bludgeon black men in the black community in order to put our nose in the poop. However, it's not our poop. This is their poop that they put us in. Now, they don't want to address that. They don't want to acknowledge.
When I'm talking about, like I said, remember I was talking about the systemic, the fact of feminism, the fact of the division and between black men and black women due to feminism. Okay. You also have the fact with the crime, basically the hip hop artists, the music entertainment industry to prison pipeline, where you have hip hop artists working with the CIA to promote music that is dumbing down families and the family and children and young men and young black girls in the black community who are at risk, who do not have stable home environments. Okay. There's a lot of systemic with that. Systemic white supremacist tactics. An ex-CIA agent admitted to this.
They don't want to create policies, systems, or any type of ordinances that can remove that poop, but they constantly want to highlight the poop that they created.
Okay.
Basically, yeah. Basically, the government. I'll give you an example. The government flooded the urban black community with drugs. Did they do anything to rectify that? No. They just did that, and then they said, "Hey, we got to fight the war on drugs." Okay. Why don't you black people pull yourselves up by the bootstraps? All right. They created a situation. All right. And then so they could look good. All right. Remember I told you about Democrat and Republicans? All right. The Democrats work to make blacks look like a victim. And any blacks who actually work to strive to not have that victim label on them, they slander them. They try to destroy their businesses, have them called all types of names. And Republican Party sits here and tries to be the righteous, virtuous. See, look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Look how they're acting. Meanwhile, they're saying, good job, Democrats. No problem, Republicans. Let's keep this white supremacy going. And those blacks who dare to work to get out of those neighborhoods and try to make something out of themselves, they get demonized and turn blacks against those same blacks that want to actually be better in life. Divide and conquer. Good cop, bad cop. In the worst way.
So the point is to create solutions
I think I got it.
that doesn't happen. This criminality that you believe is so heavily present.
Okay, Lucas.
Okay, so I'm just going to end the stream right there. But, I don't want to hear any more about her. I mean, she's just basically very ignorant on things and talks about stuff she really doesn't know about. All right. And unfortunately, that is the divide. Okay. Having these types of talking points, whether it's, with the red pill saying all black women are like this. I mean, the black man saying all black women are like this when it's not true. And you have, people like Cynthia G, all right, or Divested Witch talking about, oh, black men are horrible. Okay. They're this, they're that. All right. That's division. That's working with white supremacy right there. All right. That's all I got to say for now. Anything you might know about this channel is in the description box. Later. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.